Who told you to download Battlefield? I don't know we connected to the internet. Well, I guess that's them saying my bandwidth is being choked the hell out. Choking you out. Huh? So you think you want to stream, huh? Think you got a powerful machine, huh? It's like, not today. We're actually on episode 186, which is crazy. Have we got enough? Is our internet strong enough to carry this stream? Set this up correctly. So where did we leave off last night? Trying to do Millicent's quest. Couldn't find Millicent, so went off to fight Melina. I think that's pretty much where we're at. What's our lag like? I don't know, is my Durek actually on my head today? Like... Okay. Only problem I'm thinking is I've got no way to find out if the stream's going to lag out. It's completely dependent on people to tell me, or otherwise I won't know. That's a bit of annoyance. Soon as I wake up, every day. Alright, so point of fact, I was actually live on the other account testing if we could get guests up. We can actually get guests up now on the Drivers Mate podcast account over on TikTok. So if you guys want to do an exclusive chit chat session, we can do it like that. Or perhaps we can figure out a way to get both streams going simultaneously so people can call in. Only thing is, there's going to be issues with audio for sure. There's no two ways about it. I can't test it myself whilst being on the stream. What's up, Juicer? How you doing, man? Not too bad, man. Not too bad. So we get spank this woman first try. It's unlikely, but... Damn it. No, bro. I can't cancel action. How's he using Dragon Rot against a Rock Queen? Mimic is dim. Phase 2. Put your arm back. Oh, let's skip this cutscene. I didn't really help him. I don't know why I thought it might. Just wasting magic unnecessarily. It's out of the picture. Fuck. Just me and you, crusty lady. Oh, she's a spammer. Silly dancing weapons. Spam. Yeah, I'm cooked. She was a dancing queen. Alright, let's get her out of the way, bro. Come closer. No, that's the wrong button. Wasted my magic. Rig. No, this is a bad run. How did she dodge that? Yeah, I deserve that one. What's up, Jack? Yeah, Magic Sane room. Yeah, I did skip the cutscene. What's up, Pit? Are you still in the chat? How can you know God is any of those things, to be fair? We're just getting started, Octi, to be fair. Just started the stream. How did he appear to you, Bruzy? What did he look like? What did he say? We got him. We got stance break. Hey, what's going on? Oh, I see. Bootstraps. I think we just leave that. Fire should do pretty good against her. Yes, imagine. You could only dream. Well, break it down, Fire. What is the possibility of him being both? Okay, I didn't say he needed to talk to me. How do you know he's capable of talking though? Interesting, you know. Oh no, wasted magic. Ah, that's what we need to do. Let's go get an extra. Let's put another flask on that. What do you look like? Lights. How do you know it was Jesus then? Nobody invented humans graphic, as far as I know. It's possible that something invented humans, but there's no proof of it being the case. Alright, let's not give Mimic the magic thing, because he seems to think he can spam Dragon Rot on the Rock Queen. So let's not do that. Come into range, go. No, you're supposed to let her get in range, bro. Ah, just at my range. Oh no, that was too many. Cool. Yeah, I think evolution is a thing, bro. Oh shit. Oh, I forgot to roll! No! That's my own fault, that one is. Forgot to roll, I tried to run. Robe, hair, beard, light was bright. So Breezy, apparently you're comfortable with telling lies, which doesn't really surprise me. God talk through everything, because otherwise he wouldn't be God. How can you know for sure? Hey bro, don't spam my chat with preaching. You're more than welcome to come and have a conversation with me and Prophet Muhammad, but don't spam Quran verses. It just, people just take you as a joke. No one's actually going to read your verses. So you should probably know that. You can start with a simple hello, how are you? Act like a human. Oh, what a mug. Alright. This is what happens, right? What's up, Shinobi? How you doing? Are you rhyming? Are you writing raps in the chat? What's going on there? Yeah, it's my 4th playthrough. You wouldn't think it by watching me play, but it's my 4th time playing the game. She's moving extra slow. Do you know what? I think I might need to restart the game so like the AI just gives me a break. Yeah, look, see how it's changed his tactic? He got spanked twice in the same pattern, so it switched up. Computer is smart as hell, man. It's adaptive. Spammed. Spammed. What's up, Carp? How you doing? Nah, more like a rage restart. What's up, Mendy? How you doing? Why am I doing resets? Because it helps, right? I've noticed when you start grinding a boss fight or something too much, the computer adapts to your fight style, and I noticed when you restart it, it kind of goes back to a sort of baseline. This might just be superstition. This might just be me assigning agency to the computer, this hyperactive agency detection device that humans have. Might just be me being superstitious, but yeah. I notice that happens. Like, they start to adapt to your fight style. Probably just gamer superstition, bro. Gwyn? I don't think I've even come across Gwyn yet. Oh, I should have let that finish first. Yeah, I did play Dark Souls 1, but to be fair, I didn't pay much attention to the lore or the story. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember who Gwyn is. Oh, that's the dude you can just parry. That's like one of the best bosses in the game. You just parry him, and it's no stress fight. I don't remember the guy's name though, or all the lore, to be fair. Someone recognise you from here. Well, big up to them. Who was it, Cup? Who was in there? Big up to them. I mean, like, dependent. Yeah, I guess you could say, right, one, it's demonic in by way of capitalism, I would say, Menzi, right? That is just a holiday purely designed to rob people of their money. But as so much for like the demonic features of Halloween, you know, like the monsters and stuff like that. Yeah, I guess you can make a case for it being demonic if you think demons actually exist. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I think the evilest thing about those kind of holidays is that they're designed to basically just fleece you of your money. But there's probably some like ritual tradition. Look! See what Mimic changed the pattern? He's supposed to come to us. Supposed to let her come to us up there. That changed up the whole pattern. So yeah, I might restart again. See what I mean? That's not right. That ain't right. Favorite boss of all Souls, like, that's a really hard one. I could tell you my favorite boss in this game so far, and that was the Placidus fight. And it was my favorite up to the point where I figured out how to beat him, and then it's just another fight. Why do I lose? Because I'm trash. Because I'm trash. Malekith, is that this Black Blade? Is that the guy that transforms? This is quite a hard fight, but it's not the hardest fight. Hey, you really believe that, Ari? No, come on, come closer. The computer's like, I know your tricks. Come on, come up here. Come on. Computer's like, you beat me too easily in first phase twice. I need to reset the board. Oh my god! She one-shotted me. Holy shit. Holy shit. What's up, Hayden? Yeah, I think that's the case. I think a lot of ideas of gods have been used as control tactics in the past and currently. DJ Games, go on, explain yourself. What do you mean, Dreams? Do you think a god would allow this kind of game to exist? Like this whole game is about deicide, bro. We're literally just slaying gods. So that doesn't seem right, does it? Thank God for Mimic, man. She's just getting her health back by stabbing him. The animation takes too long. Damn it, out of range. First phase should not be this hard. I messed up. Thank God for you, Mimic, mate. Alright. What's up, El Jefe? I don't know. Who's to say? I don't currently live in a world where it's possible to see the alternatives of things. But yeah, I think it'd be too difficult to just try and remove religions altogether now, at this point in history. They're too entrenched in societies. I think the best we could hope for is trying to reform them. I think that's the best we could hope for. Like just how they did it in the past. Oh shit, Mimic's dead. I needed him. Damn it. I was thinking last night, right? Like, obviously, you can't just pull like a Stalin or like a Lenin or a Mao, right? So the best thing to do would be to try and reason with them, but like time-wise, you couldn't reason like people out of religion for the most part. Some people who are susceptible to reason, you could. So I was thinking maybe the next best thing is to try and help religions reform themselves so they're not so like bad, if that makes sense. But that reform probably wouldn't be able to happen from inside the religion because of the current like belief system that holds the whole hierarchy in place. So they would need, like, I know this sounds kind of crazy, but just hear me out. They would need like management of the religious reformation by some non-religious people. So like again, I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Like, so say like an atheist coalition of like politicians, philosophers, mathematicians, scientists, like people who are experts and they have an understanding of culture too, would need to form a board or committee and help the church, help the mosque, help the temple, whichever branch, help them come up with systems to reform the church and how they impart religion to believers to make them more harmonious with society, if that makes sense. Because that reformation would be very difficult to come from within the church because they're just split off into different denominations as they've done in the past. The closest thing to that working in the past was Protestant Reformation, okay? But Protestant Reformation literally just took Christendom and was like, all right, I see what you've done over there, the Roman Empire. Let's take Christendom and use this to move the West in this direction. But yeah, that being said, right, if you was to make a panel of atheists, or like not just necessarily atheists, but just like people outside of religion to help manage religion's reformation, it wouldn't be that far off from what potentially happened in the past, because you could argue that religion was used as a political vehicle anyway. So the people who were leading it, the thought leaders, right, and the commissioners, if you will, you mean like your popes, your lords, your mercantile classes, they didn't necessarily believe in religion, but they had use for it, so they could turn religion to steer society. But that being said, if we wanted to keep religious ideologies harmonious with progressive societies, like, you know, accepting of science, accepting of like, you know, different identities, different ideologies, the reform would need to come from outside of it. It would need to be managed in a way where the people who help steer the ship aren't beholden to the beliefs inside of it. Do you know, that makes sense? It's like it would be, so put it this way, to get someone from inside of religion to do the reform, it would be a conflict of interest. Does that make sense? So if you got an external body to help you reform religion, that conflict of interest wouldn't be there. So they'd be able to call out the abuses, they'd be able to call out like the contradictions, and then you could like in an apologetic kind of way patch over the negative stuff of religion. But that's just an idea, right? Or you could just be like Mao and Lenin, right? You could just be like them instead. Like, this is just thinking out loud. But what do you mean by a higher power? What do you mean by that? But yeah, this is yeah. Hopefully, someone somewhere understands what I'm trying to say here. But yeah, the main reason I realised it would be difficult to do it from inside is because they would just splinter the religion, right? You just end up with more denominations. I think that's what's been happening over time. People are like, no, this is wrong, I don't like this, I don't like that. Then they splinter off, start their own interpretation of said religion. You know? Wasted magic. That's actually the ideal spot though. Don't let her get some health back. Sit your ass down. So do you have proof? Do you know, like, you're making a positive claim of a God existing, yet you can't support its existence? That's the problem. Come on then, Nick. Stay alive, my boy. Oh, I'm the one who let us down this time. Rolling out of a bloody dance attack. I'll let us down. What? You don't like You don't like One Piece? Makes sense why you're a Christian. He doesn't like One Piece. He says the Straw Hats are bad. So Black Exec, why are you here then? Like, why are you opening your ears to the conversation? If you feel that way, like you're using an awful lot of energy. You sure you don't just want to have a conversation? It seems more like you're trying to reach out to me, but you just don't know how to do it. So do you want to have a conversation about the topic, or just emotional? No, we can get into various different levels of this conversation if you want, right? My personal opinion on the matter is that humans invented gods. All known gods are psychological constructs and do not exist independently of the mind. I could give you a solid hypothesis for the how they invented gods and the why they invented gods, and then we can use the archaeological evidence of different gods across cultures and the anthropological evidence of different gods across cultures to show you the different formations of gods humans have invented. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I'm not going too in depth because, as you can see, I'm having fun getting beaten up by this boss. So. But yeah, when I am finished this boss fight, then we'll get into it. Which book should I be learning? There's a lot of books to read in life, like almost unlimited amount of books to read. Well, it would appear so anyways. But so little time, you know. So much to know, so little time. What can a man do? I'm dead. Invent an AI. That would save time. I'm messing up. He's put me in a perfect position. Go on, mimic with Ali. That was a bit too slow. Well, the thing is, Black Exec, you should ask yourself, well, I don't know why I'm calling you Black Exec. It's like your name is Black Excellence, right? You need to ask yourself why you think a spiritual realm exists in the first place. Someone play that Jadakiss song. We're gonna make it. I'm just trolling. Come on, you stink. Guy trying to aura farm. That's it. Oh, I should have put the stance break physic on. She's a spammer, man. Look at that. That's all one attack, you know. Damn it. She's beating Mimic up. I hate that. How could she stab us both with that one thrust? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, I'm dead. Bro, phase 1 should not be this difficult. Something going wrong here. There's something definitely going wrong here. So, Black Excellence, considering that you, me, and everyone else here is alive, how can we have any certainty about what happens after we pass away? Should we be taking the words of other people that are still alive about what happens after you pass away? No, I don't know there's a glitch. I don't think I need a glitch though. What's up, Skilly? I've beaten this boss like about maybe 2 or 3 times before, so... Oops, if I can get my setup right. No, faith isn't the same thing as religion, right? Religion is just codified culture. Faith, it spanned, like, it's beyond religion. Faith is needed in just reasoning skills alone. But religious faith is one thing. Just like belief. There's religious belief and then there's belief in general. Belief is also needed for reasoning to an extent. But yeah, in a religious context, the belief is to accept without proof, right? They kind of hold the same meaning for faith too, for some reason. Well, so what I would say to you, Black, right, is if your God requires faith, imagination, or belief to interact with it, it's not real, right? It's functionally non-existent. It's something that only exists in your mind, okay? You're more than welcome to continue to believe that, but whether it makes it real just remains to be seen, right? But yes, if your default position is it's faith and it's belief, that's totally fine. But just realize it coincides, if you will. It's consistent with what I'm saying, that humans invented God. So in order for you to interact with your God, it requires someone to devise a concept of God and impart it to you for you to interact with it. Or you yourself need to devise a concept of God to interact with it. There's no independent evidence of a God being an independent agency, sorry. An independent agent, sorry, I'm a bit distracted as you can see. That means your God is completely mind dependent. It depends on you for its existence, not the other way around. So what might that evidence be, bro? What's up, bro Bass? How you doing? No, oh, I'm dead. I ain't got enough health to survive it. Poor Mimic, he's always on the front lines. Dead, should just kick man down. She's a beast, bro. Ah! Punk. No, I don't think we just spawned in, bro. Birbass, I don't know what language you're speaking. It looks like maybe Spanish. I can't speak Spanish personally, bro. So I can't really understand what you're saying. So what's the evidence, bro? What's up, Shruba? Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting movie, but I don't think it's likely there. Do you know what, actually? Prometheus, there was apparently a lot of religious things in Prometheus. Like, it was a religious critique, and they lobbied against it before it got released on a panel, and they had to edit the movie. They had to edit the stuff out of Prometheus. Interestingly enough. But yeah, I don't think that's how humans come about. I think it's more likely abiogenesis, speciation, and evolution. They seem to be pretty solid standpoints and startings for human and all life, to be fair. That's not true, right? There are no contemporary accounts of Jesus Christ during his time. Now, there is an argument that could be had that a guy called, or an apocalyptic Judean priest called Yahshua, who may have existed under John the Baptist. There's an argument for that guy historically, but the God-man Jesus, no evidence of that at all. That means like the divine birth, no accounts for that. The resurrection, no accounts for that. Miracles, no accounts for that. So if he was being charitable, you could say, yeah, Yahshua, the Judean priest, may have existed, but not in the capacity as Jesus in the Bible did. But that's just me saying that. Other historians and like theologians, well, not even theologians anymore, ex-theologians, would argue actually Jesus and Paul didn't even exist, but that's another conversation. But anyways, this isn't about Christianity, it's about God. Look at this death. Sliced! Dogma. I haven't actually watched that movie properly. I saw clips of it. I think I see. What's up, Clover? I seen bits of it as a kid. Try dodging. It's like when people say try rolling. Don't get me angry. You can see I'm trying to strat here, alright? Try dodging, that's jokes. Well, it's fine to have that belief, Hayden, but I think all beliefs are worth examining where you got them from in the first place, right? And what is the value of holding those beliefs? And could it be that someone else has imparted those beliefs to you for, let's say, a nefarious reason? There's one thing to cope by coming up with your own understandings of the universe, but it's another thing to be bought into ideas and ideologies that do not benefit you at all, but benefit someone else. So perhaps it's worth examining why you think there's an afterlife of higher planes and stuff like that in the first place, you know? Where did you get the idea from? It's just my opinion, man. I'm not saying there can't be anything after you die, I'm not saying that at all. But if we was to say, right, death is the cessation of all bodily functions, that means the ability to know, to experience would cease with the body, then it's unlikely we'd be able to find anything out after we die, at least with our earthly body, you know. Now, if you're someone that says spirits and souls exist and they're eternal, you know, like immortal soul actually comes from Plato, you know. But anyways, if you're someone who subscribes to that, it's still unproven whether that is actually a thing. So, yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, that speaks to your ideas of the afterlife. Where did they come from in the first place? This fight is going really bad. I need to restart the computer. Yeah. Oh, I should have let it die. I should have let him finish dying. I think that's why. It's gonna start back the same animation when I come back. You can't join on this live, but I can make another live on my other TikTok, and you can join there. Oh no, it's a bit laggy. I think I'll leave that. What I'll do, right? Half an hour after when this stream finishes, I will do half an hour of calling on another account. It's Drivers Mate Podcast on TikTok. I did do half an hour before I started the stream, but I was just testing out to see if there's a lag. It's up undoubtedly, Kenny. Absolutely, right? The burden of proof is always going to remain on the person who posits this thing. And the problem is, like I said, right, it's one thing to posit this, but it's another thing to examine where you got these ideas from in the first place and how these ideas actually serve you. I think that's the most crucial bit that people are failing to do. Where did I get these ideas about the afterlife, spirit, like God, all of this stuff in the first place? Then they're unexamined views. Once you actually start to examine them, you're like, is there a rational, good enough reason to continue to believe this? Probably not, right? But a lot of these views come into most of our lives through like young indoctrination and cultural indoctrination. So like growing up, you're taught these things, or they're just said as explanatory tools, but never really dived into and dissected. Like, you know, like, not to be rude or anything, but a lot of parents can't answer the whys. They just hit you with the, I don't know, that's just how it is, or it's just so, or so the Bible tells me so. But if you was to need all these questions, luckily we got the internet now, so people can actually just be like, all right, mum and dad don't know, let me go to the internet and find out. But if you was to needle in on these presuppositions on how the world works and why things are this way, you'll find that a lot of the times at the bottom of it, people really don't know why they believe what they believe in the first place, you know? And that's what scares people the most, right? It's the unknown. So they fill the unknown with information. Whether the information is good or bad, it doesn't matter, because filling the unknown with information reduces the fear, okay? Which is one of the hypotheses of how early humans invented gods in the first place. It's for a survival mechanism, right? The unknown was a direct threat to survival. So they'd fill the unknown with information using what's called hyperactive agency detection device. Okay? It's a way to scan for a problem, fill the problem with information so you survive. Right, let's restart again. Oh, I didn't mean to restart the whole computer. Shit. I just meant to close the game. NCR, I don't know. Right? I don't make any claims on how the universe came to be. See, the problem is black excellence, right? If your particular concept of God interacts with the physical material reality, meaning like God answers prayers, he comes down in human form, he cares about the goings on earth, right? He creates stuff. All of that implies that your God is interacting with the material physical world. So anything within the material physical world would require empirical proof, right? Because there's sensory data to be had, there's measurements to be made when you're talking about physical material things. Now, that isn't evidence that you need to support if your God does those things. But let's say you're on the philosophy side of things and you say, no, my idea of God, my concept of God doesn't interact with the physical material world. He's just an abstract principle. He's like an uncaused cause, right? So he's functionally non-existent, but he works in this mental framework that I've got for the universe, or how things are, right? That kind of God, you just need a logical proof, right? So with your type of biblical God, I'm not saying you personally believe in a biblical God, I don't actually know what you believe, but yes, a biblical God, which is supposedly interacting with the material physical reality, requires empirical evidence, okay? So that's what you're saying, and that's what I'm trying to help you understand. Don't get me wrong, NCR, right? I think various Big Bang models are really good, right? But me personally, I don't make claims about where the universe comes from, because I don't think that's something I can know for certain anyways. Joseph, I think my parents created me. Well, they created my body anyways, right? And I think both my self-perception and my culturation create my psyche of the self, that mind that I call me, right? My mind, even though it's a product of my body, is kind of separate. I'm not being a dualist here, but my parents create my body. Then society and me, my self-perception, create me. They create the person set. The body set is created by my parents, but the person set is created by me and my interactions with the world, right? Psychologically speaking, okay? But yeah, I know that's not really what he was asking, but now you know. Well, who's to say, Hayden, right? Who's to say, right? Like I said, there are really good models for the universe, but then, like, on a philosophical level, some people would argue you can't have a robust, good model of the universe while being a constituent of it. That's simply just saying, how can you have a full understanding of something while being one of the parts of it? Right? You'd need to have an outside to observe the whole, you know, at the least. That's just an idea. But is there an outside to the universe? No. As far as I know, right? Like, yeah. You know, what was his name? Something Brown. You know that quote is like, you can't get out of life alive. You can't get out of the universe alive. So, how are you going to know? But yeah, it's not to say we'll never find out. It's just that I don't currently know. Exactly, Wicked, exactly. But saying that, yeah, you can't even really use the word caused anymore, because scientifically, cause, or like the problem of causal inference isn't really adding up how we once thought it would, you know. So everything could be happening simultaneously, right? Absolutely everything happening simultaneously, and there is no linear idea of time. There is no like definable cause and effect as a law. It could just be how our mind collapses things and organizes it into like a linear fashion. But it might not actually be happening in a linear fashion. That's the problem. The closest thing to the linear fashion of time, how we imagine time to be, you know, like moving in a line, is entropy, right? And all that really is going from like a complex state to a less complex state, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it's all jargon at the end of the day. it's all jargon, and I might be getting it absolutely wrong. So, but who's to say? How black? That's what I'm saying to you. You're not examining the points you're making yourself. How can one know at the end? Right? Where did you get that idea from in the first place? How can you know? Surely if you care, you should spend the time that you have being capable of knowing to know. Do you know? You know? Yeah, but it was an oxymoronic question, or a paradoxical question, and sorry, I missed your name, Andrew, right? The universe means everything, all things, right? So there is no outside of all things, right? do you get what I'm saying? It's like an ironic situation. How do you get outside? Like, it's just is. Doesn't matter. Well, do you know Black Excellence, right? That the idea of hellfire wasn't even in the original interpretation, right? Hell, the idea of hell comes from a mistranslation of the Hebrew Sheol. Then they mixed King James, the people who done King James's version, mixed Sheol, Tartarus, and Hades, and Gehenna or something like that, right? But there is no hellfire. Right, that's not even originally biblical if you go look into it, right? That's just people's conflation and mistranslation of an idea. So yeah, there is no hellfire. You'd be just fine. You might end up in boiling feces though. You might end up in boiling feces, but yeah, there is no hellfire, bro. Oh, I messed up. Nying, nying. I'm dead. Oh, she gave me a chance as well. I think we're better off going and fighting some other bosses that we're more equipped to fight. I'm dead. Damn, the animation takes long. Look how long that attack lasts. What the? It's not looking good, boys. And yeah, later on they started to take ideas from Dante's Inferno, Milton's idea of hell. Started mixing all these ideas of hell up. Yeah, see, I thought Black Excellent. You haven't really examined these ideas at all. But that's totally fine. You're not alone, bro. I'm so dead. Oh my god, this is a terrible run. Mimic's already dead. This is a terrible run. Link? Who did that? I mean, I've not seen that. Again, I'm not like a Bible bashing type of guy, right? So I don't really get into scriptural critique, but I've not heard about that. dead. The animation takes far too long. Every Sunday and Wednesday. Undoubtedly, I'm not too keen on that idea. If you said on YouTube, I think that's problematic, but not possible. PO, I've never said I'm certain that there's no God. I'm an agnostic atheist. I'm simply just saying I don't believe in the God you're presenting to me. In addition to, I believe, well, not even believe, I'm pretty certain that the gods you're presenting to me, like as a human, are human inventions. But I'm agnostic to whether there might be something unknown out there, something all powerful out there. I don't know. So I've never said for certain that there is no God. I'm not that type of person. I think personally, all knowledge is fallible. Right? So there are no certainties, even though that seems like a certain statement. Ironically. So Marcus, I mean that's one way to put it. I want to know why you came to the similar conclusion if you agree though, because we might arrive at the same conclusion but in different ways. So I'd like to know still, even if you agree, why you agree. Look at that. That's all one move. That is all one move. See how we head behind Mimic. Even shield. Cowardly. Oh, I'm just out of range by a little bit. What? She hit him and killed me on the way. That is insane. Light rolls? You're talking about like that thing where it kind of glitches in between the roll? Oh, light rolls. Wait, do you mean like low armor? Nah, I don't think God is an egregore. I mean, that's a fair assessment, Marcos. That's a fair assessment. I think that that's part of my hypothesis. That's the third part for societal cohesion. I mean, I like to give humans the benefit of the doubt, so that not all humans are just nefarious. But I think a certain part of human nature in general is nefarious, so yeah. Yeah, she is still tough, even though this is the fourth play. It could be because it's the fourth play that she's so bloody tough, when I think about it. But let's see. But, you know, apparently they get a buff if you bring in a Mimic. So like, they get extra health. That shouldn't really matter. Ah, what a dick. Yeah, I sometimes think that as well, Clover, but like I was saying earlier on, there is no way to actually just get rid of religion now. The best you could hope for is to reform religion and religious thinkers. You could try like unplugging people out of the matrix one by one, but that's a long, tedious journey. So there'd have to be like sanctions on the institutions, like tax them and stuff like that. There'd have to be political pressure on them. There'd have to be like long-standing influence campaigns. So the best thing to do is do all of those things, but also like try to reform religion from outside of religion, you know, because trying to do it from inside is a conflict of interest. Right? People within inside of it don't want to relinquish their power, you know. You're like your preachers, your pastors, your clergymen, what's called like the sacerdotal class or clergy class. They don't want to relinquish their power. Right? So getting people like that to actually change would be a job and a half from inside the church anyway. chances are what would happen is like influential people in the church would rise up, and then they would split off from the church and start another church, which is what they do, or another mosque, or what have you, a temple. So that reformation would need to come from outside of the institution, or at least maintain a significant amount of pressure on the institutions to make them change. Otherwise, like, you can't just genocide religious beliefs. You know, you can't. Fuck, I said the wrong word. Do you know what I mean? No, innit? You can't just remove people from the planet because you disagree with their ideology. Persecute is the better word. But persecution actually just means to annoy. You know that, right? It's just to annoy people. it's not actually that deep when you look at the definition. I can't remember the exact definition, but it's something like annoy. But yeah. Well, yeah, annoy is like a super simplification. But yeah, persecution doesn't necessarily have the detrimental connotations that people think it does. Damn it! I'm sucking at this game. Oh, stream's glitching? Okay. Oh, that's it. Subject someone to hostility and ill treatment, especially because of their ethnicity, religion, or sexual orientation. But yeah, I was right actually. The secondary definition of persecute is to harass or annoy someone persistently. So I wasn't completely wrong, but yeah, to harass or annoy someone persistently is considered persecution. That's not completely off the point. That's not completely off the mark actually, Marco. There's a guy called Robert Sapolsky who talks about the psychology of religious belief, and he points out through evolutionary psychology there would have been some people who had the gene that was selected for schizophrenia and psychosis and other psychological differences in early human history, and those people would have been considered your shamans, your prophets, etc. So it's not completely wrong actually, although it's funny to say, yeah, it's just a crazy guy talking to someone in the sky. Them people historically have served a specific need for their culture. So they'd be like the people who go out in the bushes, go do spirit journeys, and come back and report to the village about things the gods told them that they want them to do. It was actually what's the right way to say it? It was a respected role in the society. But he did also point out, like, the society couldn't allow for more than one of those people at a time because of the kind of hysteria. I messed up. Well, yeah, I mean, I would like to see the day it becomes obsolete, but it wouldn't. It would just transform and go underground. It's usually how religious peoples and ideologies become radicalized. It's because them certain bad interpretations get marginalized and they go underground and they become more extreme, and then they resurface in terrible ways and mess up humanity. That's likely what will happen. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's better to help them reform than just completely try to get rid of them. Just trying to get rid of them. Blood. She's killing Mimic. This might be the one, boys. Got her! Stinky. Should have got her the first 2 tries, to be honest. That was Millennia. What do you mean, Jeremiah? Hey, thank you for the likes, Clever. I appreciate that. Pretty? I mean, it's like me to judge your taste, but my gosh. If that's pretty. Just, if that is pretty, it's pretty ugly. Oh, look, we got 2 skill points. Let's put him in there. Yeah, I'm British. What's up, baby hood? Baby hood. Yeah, well, the thing is with existence, well, yeah, you're kind of saying the same thing, right? If no God, then no mind with intention created existence. That's a fair point. But the problem is, like, existence seems to be something we've just been plopped into. So, can we actually have a true understanding of what existence is? You know, seems like we've just been dropped there in some way or another. Could have cheesed her with giant flame. Well, I don't know. I don't even know what that is, to be fair. Jeff, you're just saying stuff, bro. None of those things are connected. None of those things are connected. What's the main point you're trying to make? I don't think anything you see does point to intelligent design. I think that's your personal subjective interpretation. That's not something you can prove. And again, with a guy like me who's saying humans invented God, it would make sense that you think a mind with agency has the capacity to create and to design and to be intelligent, because they are all anthropomorphic features that come from humans anyway. So think about that. Let me in, coach. You can't get live in the stream. Can't come live in the stream. I did say after I finish the stream, I do half an hour on the Avra account. That'll be calling. I'm trying to remember how to get to the Lake of Ra, actually. Oh, saying that, where is her? Let's go find her rune. Oh, what's attacking me? Run. Elf braced in the Hague tree? Oh, wait. Oh, I've been to her tower before. You have to do that at the bottom. To the Divine Bridge, Lendell. So it's from that to defeat Manel. She drops rune upon defeat. Teleport to the Divine Bridge in Lendell. I thought it was like this little cut, a little thing there, Tower of No Return. That's not it. It's not. Lendell. Oh, we didn't do Rani's quest either. I can't remember where it is. Sorry, chat, I'm just looking something up. Thanks for the follow, Bella. Thanks for the follow. Stinky. Hi, Stinky. There's someone called Stinky here. I'll say she is Stinky as well. That's true, PG. Kids do believe in Santa because someone with authority imposed the idea on them. Until they get old enough to think for themselves. And it's like, okay, yeah, this doesn't make sense. Clearly mum and dad buying the presents. Alright, anyways, I gotta watch this video quickly. A unifier? I don't get what you're saying. Angel's death? Not necessarily, no. Oh yeah, there's a lot of Greek mythology and mysticism wrapped up in Christianity and other cultures' mysticism. It is Elden Ring. Alright, so I'm just looking to find out where her thing is. Where her rune is. I've been here before. How did they get there again? Yeah, Tower of No Return is how you get there. Okay, we can get her her rune later. Let's see if we can finish Millicent's quest. Just trust you, bro. Why the hell should I trust you? It's like wicked body. Epic rap battles, that's funny. I think I've seen a clip of them before. There is actually quite a lot to explore in this place. Damn it. Stupid tree spirit. There's a lot to explore in this area, I often forget, but it's like all parkour. So give your strongest piece of evidence on Earth that points to any particular god. Sub Dodge rants. Oh yeah, someone asked me to play a Chinese thing game. Souls game. Need to install Wolong, give it a run. Molecules? Okay, so walk me through it. No, put the Bible to one side. We're talking about evidences. The Bible is book of claims, bro. So put that to a side. Put that to the side. Geological evidence of that truth. Oh, what nonsense. So yes, there are geographical facts in the Bible, like actual places. There are historical facts in the Bible, but the Bible is not a historical account of anything. It's a religious text written with a theological agenda. And as for the magical claims in the Bible, damn it. Those aren't substantiated. They're just claims that take place in the Bible. No, there aren't no accounts of the resurrection, bro. Resurrection isn't even unique to Jesus, actually. It's funny you mentioned Buddha. Buddha has a divine birth story like Jesus. Mithras, Serapis, Dionysus, Horus, Ganesha, Krishna. They all have either divine births or resurrection. So, but all that being said, there's still no evidence of Jesus ever resurrecting. There's no evidence of his divine birth. There's no evidence of his miracles. Those are all claims in the Bible. There are no contemporary accounts. But anyway, put your Bible nonsense to the side. You tried to say molecules are a proof of God, so walk us through your scientific knowledge on molecules and why you think that is a proof of God. Stop all this Bible nonsense, bro. Whether or not you believe in the Bible makes no difference. Oh, I was going to do a bad boy jump over there as well. Motherfucker. Oh. It's too high of a jump. Alright, yeah, talk about molecules, bro. Stop all this nonsense Bible stuff. Tony, the plethora of life forms come from speciation and evolution, bro. Yeah, so every group of people don't naturally believe in a god. Humans invent all different types of gods, and they have throughout history. There's no one universal experience of God found across cultures and across time. This is why we have different conceptual frameworks for gods: monotheism, polytheism, pantheism, panentheism, deism, dualism, animism, henotheism. Okay, and every single type of god that we can account for archaeologically and anthropologically have distinct features. Right? Some contradict others. There isn't a universal god across time and across cultures, bro. In fact, what you just said, Wicked, is supporting my claim that humans invent gods. Okay. There isn't a universal god across time and across culture, bro. Let's see if we can pull it off. Oh, jump the wrong way. I thought I was gonna get like straight over. Man meant to Minecraft, you know. So yeah, so do you want to explain to me how molecules prove gods? Because you said that as if you had something substantial to say, then you pivoted to Minecraft. So should explain that. To be wrong, nice try though. You guys are so pathetic. Guys never rebut with facts or give any proof or evidence. They're just like, you're wrong. No, like, what was it again? What is it? Nuh-uh. Like that's just their rebuttal to everything is nuh-uh. It's like, yeah, thanks. Cope some more. But you could also present some evidence to your claims, right? Maybe you could just say, nuh-uh, you're wrong. Correct me then. No, intelligent design is just an anthropomorphic viewpoint, okay? There's no proof that there is a mind with the capacity to invent or do anything intelligently. That's just your personal take on your observations. Just don't make it a truth. Bloody hell, that tree spirit's annoying. Yeah, little honeycomb molecules. Don't like. How do you get from molecules to God, right? And specific type of God as well. Since you're talking about the Bible, right? You believe in an omniscient, omnipotent, omnibenevolent creator God. Okay, how do you get from molecules to God? All right, walk us through it. Humans have been inventing gods, bro. It's just bad cope, bro. You guys are so disingenuous. Just give a good argument, or actually just go and get some evidence of your particular god, right? My stance is humans invented God. All known gods are psychological constructs and do not exist independently of the mind, okay? We've got plenty of archaeological evidence of gods humans have invented, from Brigid to Quetzalcoatl to Ra to El Elyon to Yahweh to Odin, okay? On and on and on. We got the specific names of the gods, the roles they played in society. I can even tell you some of Earth's oldest gods, right? They go back to 3500 BCE. That's Inanna, Ishtar, and Anu. That's Sumeria. Okay? So we've got archaeological evidence of humans coming up with gods, but we've got no evidence of those gods existing like on their own. I'm so dead. I need to leave this tree alone, man. Let's just go do a Millicent's quest line. The sun isn't an evidence of God, bro. Where do you get your conscience? I think talking about the conscience is basically a psychological thing, okay? And what creates someone's framework for a conscience is how they're, one, acculturated, meaning what their culture deems as ideals and values. And a feeling of breaking those cultural ideals and values is what induces feelings of guilt, which are like societal pressures, not necessarily internal things. They're external pressures, right? So that builds your framework for what you call a conscience. But being that, the idea of conscience is examined psychologically. This is why it changes with pathology. People who are considered sociopaths and psychopaths have different frameworks for conscience, okay? So if conscience was something that is a hardwired thing in by God, there wouldn't be so many derivatives or derivations of conscience, okay? There'd be just one consistent type, but there isn't. What you're talking about as a conscience is a psychological thing. And again, it's built by input, okay? Not like hardwired in. What's up, Ralph? How you doing? But yeah, your conscience is made up of your societal values and stuff like that, to put it simple. What's up, Godspeed? How you doing? Yeah, so you're talking about a fine-tuning argument again. I don't see a good enough reason to think the universe is fine-tuned by a mind with agency. I don't think that to be the case. I think that's an observation, an anthropomorphic observation. Let me leave this true spirit alone. Let's go fight. They have a true spirit. What's up, Jamie? See, the thing is, right, there's no evidence that Jesus went through anything other than like the Yahshua story of the actual priest who learned under John the Baptist. There's no evidence of, and well, even that, like, again, some historians will argue that didn't actually take place, but that's not for me to say. There's another way to get there as well. This area is so rough. If you guys just tuning in, you just missed it. We spanked Melina after about 5 or 6 tries, maybe more. Yeah, I can give you a solid hypothesis on how humans invent gods, right? So there's something in neuroscience and evolutionary psychology called a hyperactive agency detection device, or a hypersensitive agency detection device. Essentially, it's what humans would have done to explain things, right? So earlier human would have seen something like a storm and they would have said, I have a mind, I have a mind, but I don't understand that lightning. Therefore, there must be a mind higher than mine who either understands that lightning or is responsible for that lightning. That device was built in as a survival mechanism. The unknown is perceived as a threat. It's perceived as a threat to survival, so they fill the unknown with information. Whether that information is correct or not doesn't matter. As long as it buttresses chances of survival, it helps, right? So those early humans, or like primitive humans, would have seen something like a storm, a volcano, but like an earthquake, and they would have been in awe, but they would have assigned the agency. They would have said something is doing that, right? That is happening with intention. Therefore, agency is applied to the lightning. Agency is applied to the volcano. Agency is applied to the earthquake, to the tsunami, okay? Then culturally, they would have built story around that event to help ensure survival of the next generation. A good example of this is like saying all of us are like early primitive hunter-gatherers, right? We go out into the forest and one of our group members eats this white berry. He eats the white berry and then he starts to get sick and he dies, right? So we build story around the event of him picking the white berry, and the white berry becomes a piece of cultural history anthropologically. It helps ensure survival, but it's passed on through stories, right? Same thing would have happened with that event of the lightning and the earthquake. It becomes what's called deified, okay? So they start to do things to appease the lightning, do things to appease the earth, do things to appease the volcano. Okay, that's where you start to get early elemental gods. But that being said, right, that's just phase 1 of humans inventing types of gods. Right? This is before the idea of a god is fully conceptualized. And we're talking about generations after generations of this device, hyperactive agency detection device, plus law and story building. Then when humans start to develop the capacity for complex thinking, abstract thought, they start to produce abstract gods, right? Gods of love, gods of creation, gods of death, gods of knowledge, okay? And the same thing happens. They build story around them. They try to appease them. They appeal to the gods for favor, right? Then as humans progress past hunter and gatherer and into agriculture, now we got complex systems of governance and societal building. We start to get polis, we start to get city, civilization. Now we start to invent gods for societal cohesion. We get temples, we get proto-religions, if you will. Well, proto-religions is probably more between stage 1 and stage 2. Anyways, right? Start to get religions and sects of society breaking off, right? So the gods start to mirror anthropomorphic nature. You start to get pantheons like Zeus, like Odin, like Ra, like Inanna, Ishtar, right? So these are different regions across the planet coming up with pantheistic style gods, right? Panels that have panels of gods, right? So there's celestial gods, elemental gods, and abstract gods who have direct human features. So stage 1, right? I'm giving you a how and a why humans invented gods, right? What I'm saying is an inductive argument, so there is room for error, okay? It could be wrong, right? Because who's there to verify it? But we're going based off the inference of the evidence left behind, okay? And that evidence is archaeological, anthropological. So that being said, stage 1 is humans assigning agency to things they don't understand. Stage 2 is developing gods for psychological comfort, right? To give certainty where there's uncertainty. And stage 3 is for societal cohesion, right? To have moral arbiters, to section off society and mobilize people under ideologies, okay? That's all I'm saying about humans inventing God, right? Hopefully that helps. But yeah, I say that because your hypothesis was that every human alive has always believed in God. No. There is no one universal idea of God to be found throughout human history. They're always different, and they always build on each other's ideas, ironically. Well, Austin, it's funny you say that, right? I would grant you that your belief is based on faith, but I would also say if your God requires belief, imagination, or faith to interact with, it's functionally not existent, right? Meaning it's not real because it's imagined, okay? And that's fine. It just means it only exists in your mind. I'm dead. Yeet! Bro pulled out the magic spear. Whoa! How are we able to imagine? That's a great point, right? Or if you're like a physicalist, you believe the mind is a direct product of the brain. To be fair, like one could argue the mind is a direct product of the brain because the minute we tweak something with your actual brain, say we damage your hippocampus, your ability to remember will be damaged, right? And your memory plays a key role in who you are as a person. But who you are as a person only exists in your mind. There's a biological memory of who you are, but there is also a mind memory of who you are, okay? But if you damage the biological memory, being the hippocampus, you damage the mind. That being said, what we describe as imagination takes place in the mind. So you could say the ability to imagine is based on all of those neurological connections firing synapses, right? So yeah, that would be what imagination is. It's something that takes place in the mind. But that's like a grounded perspective. You could also take like an idealist kind of perspective and say, no, when people are imagining, they're like accessing a field of knowledge, a field of consciousness, you know. You could go woo woo with it, but I'm just saying from a grounded perspective, the mind is the product of the brain. Imagination takes place in the mind, right? But from another perspective, you would say, no, consciousness precedes matter. And people are just accessing divine information when they imagine. People are just accessing a field of knowledge or a muse when they're creating. Right? You could be woo-woo about it, but I'm saying the pragmatic view is mind comes from brain, right? Therefore, imagination takes place because of brain. That's my opinion. What's up, Z4? I don't know. I don't know, right? It's hard to say. It's hard to imagine a world without religion completely. I think our best shot is to actually reform religion. I hate to say it, but reform religion from outside of religion, right? Rather than try to get rid of it, because you can't truly get rid of religion. You can only change it at this point in history. That's not really my job to do, Tempo, right? But I think you're a living example of that. Right, you're a living example of existence without a God. So I can't remember how to get to that tree again. Well, yeah, it's like, what do you think I am? Like an AI or a guru? I have massive holes in my knowledge. I'm limited in many ways, so of course I can't answer everything. There's things I don't understand. Lots and lots of things I don't understand. So, what do you mean? It's not my job to be like, oh, and like when people be like, well, explain my story. Like, bro, it's your story. You're supposed to be explaining it to me. It's like, well, how do you explain this? But you're the one saying it. Why don't you explain it? It's like, yeah. But yeah, again, I don't know enough, right? Maybe a society without religion is possible. What it would take, I'm not quite sure. But I think from what I'm studying currently, that what would replace religion would just be different variants of ideology, whether it's philosophical or political or economical. Like this is really what you'd find. People galvanize under an ideology one way or another. But it'd be better if the ideologies that they galvanize under were rational. Ultimately, it would be better. But there is still a place for imagination, so there's that. All I would say is just it's more of a matter of trying to reform the institutions so they don't have such a negative impact on individuals and society. That's what I would say, but that's kind of hopeful, you know. This is the Halig tree. I'm just milling about, just having a bit of an exploration. Pareidolia is when people see faces and things. Right, so say that rock there was a real rock. You could see a smiley face in it. So yeah, in short, that's what it is. You saw that? You saw the video, didn't you? Give that video a like, man. I don't get any likes or like even views on my TikTok videos for some reason. Hey, thanks for that follow, John. No, it does look like Altus Plateau. It's kind of all the same. It's like all endgame area, isn't it? So it's kind of like the same enemies and stuff. Hey, appreciate you, Godspeed. No, evolution isn't a faith. Who's told you that, bro? This is why I'm saying we need to reform religion, because they're in church teaching their congregation absolutely stupid things, and because they have a certain level of authority within the church, they get this idea that they can just espouse nonsense, and then they send their congregation out into the world with unequipped to actually interact with the reality they live in, and they say shit like that. How is evolution a faith, right? This is what I'm saying, right? Then the people that are in church espousing stuff like that won't be the type of people you could reason with to like relinquish power. They shouldn't be leading churches saying silly stuff like that. What's up, John? Bro just recharged me. Yeah, I'm dead. How the gods so tough? Probably need a different type of weapon for them. Bro. If you think evolution is something you can debate about, then you don't have an understanding of evolution itself, right? Just quite simply. It's as simple as that. If you think it's something up for debate, you don't have enough information about it in the first place. It's not an ideology, it's not a belief. Okay, it's something that is demonstrable through artifacts, not artifacts, fossils and DNA. Okay, so it's just a silly conversation to get into. Okay. Yeah, here you are, bro. You've been here at least half an hour, so your actions say otherwise. Hey, thank you for liking the lives. If you did, I appreciate that. Oh wow, we're on 7.5k. Appreciate you guys. A follow, I'd appreciate a follow more than a like, that, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, thank you for the likes. Fossils come from things that were once living that died. Science. They're usually preserved. So not all things become fossils. So, yeah, they're preserved in some fashion, which is why they become fossils. Where did those things come from? Bro, you just trolling at this point, surely. I think we live on top. Boyle, I don't think you like what you just writ, Boyle. I can't really understand. It's a bit weird how you writ it. Well, no, it's become a conversation like in a space where people think that their standard understanding of the world can better explain things than science, rather than just getting a grip on the science. Like there's one, like think about it like this, right? In music, you create jazz because you learn the rules of how to play music and then you break them to create something new. But you guys aren't even learning the rules of reality to break them, to put forth a different competing hypothesis. You're just saying, no, like I'm not going to learn the system at all. I'm just going to come up with my own ideas about it, which is fine, right? If your ideas are good, but they're not, right? So debating about evolution without understanding what evolution is a silly point of music. It's like music. It's a silly point of reference to argue about, right? That makes sense, right? It's a time wasting argument. Because it wouldn't really be an argument, right? It'd just be someone trying to educate ignorance. That's all it would be. What's up, Chibs? I don't think that's true, right? Again, like I think you was here the other day when we was arguing about whether or not humans are evolved for truth. I don't think humans are evolved for truth, right? I think humans are evolved for survival. It's like we're saying about filling the unknown with information, whether it's right or not. If it buttresses chances of survival, people will do it. So we do have the capacity to determine truth using our cognitive faculties, but whether we actually evolved for truth is a different question altogether. Alright, it seems like this is a bit of a dead end. What's the reason for it though? Sup heavens. I mean, I've got no proof of supernatural things occurring, right? So I don't currently hold it to be a thing, but I do acknowledge that it's a possibility. Funky, I think it could be shoddy, but I think AI is just a tool, right? It's only as good as the wielder. It's only as good as the skill of the person wielding the tool. So yeah, that's what I think. I would describe it currently that supernatural is just a concept that people came up with, maybe for explanatory power. I mean, that's a big jump to say that, John, right? Like spirits, to me personally, I don't hold that spirits and souls actually exist outside of just like psychological constructs, explanatory ideas. So I think that's where I want to go. I definitely don't think good night to you. I definitely don't think Nephilim exist either. That's just something. It's like a twisted variant on some Bible ideas. I don't think exorcisms happen either, because I don't think possessions happen. I think it's usually something psychological happening to the individual, or some kind of biological difference, meaning that their body is different, you know. Put it this way, it's what we call disabilities, essentially. But yeah, I don't think demons exist in order to possess humans, and I don't think humans have the power of exorcism. I think that's all Catholicism and some weird other like Islamic ideas and shit. Not even just Catholicism. Let me be there. That's all like Abrahamic ideologies and shit. But there are ideas of exorcism in other cultures too. But yeah, they're the most prominent ones that you hear about. Exorcism was big business back in the day before people had natural sciences and medicines. It was big business, wasn't it? So. What's up, Dickie? What do you mean by holdover? No, I disagree, right? I don't think there is significant evidence of demons existing and demons being able to possess people. I think this is people's interpretation of events. And people's interpretation of things, whether it's clearly black and white, your interpretation of that can vary wildly between human to human, culture to culture. So I think that's what it is more. That's what it points out more than anything else. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, now I'm trapped. What a son of a gun of a. I think we completely messed up the Millicent quest line. Because I'm not going to be able to get the ending that I want. Christ is king of who? Don't get me wrong, like some of those things are really, really fascinating, but like I had to at some point just acknowledge that a lot of this is like fantasy, giants and stuff, and you know all that kind of shit. It's fascinating, but it's quite a big fantasy. Now, are there really tall humans? Could there have been other species of humans? Scientifically speaking, yeah, it's definitely a possibility. But like, to get too deep into that kind of world of thinking is to disengage with the current reality we exist in. What's the value of that kind of thinking in this day and age? Put it that way. You gonna spank me? Pain in the ass. Oh, what one shot at me? Well, I wouldn't say it's random chance, Martin. It's not either or. It's not like either God or random. It could be any number of things, right? I think hold out for the best explanation wins. You know, the simplest, best naturalistic explanation will win until better information is provided. That's what I think. So yeah. So your experience of seeing an object fly across a room is pointing to what I'm talking about with early humans, that hyperactive agency detection device. You're assigning agency to that object that flew across the room. So you're describing early humans in action with your own experience, okay? That's literally the point of what I'm trying to explain to you. Things like your experience or your interpretation of your experience points to exactly how and why humans invented gods in the first place. Hope that helps, right? Nah, I've not got to play a Fallout game yet. Thing is, right, I do think evolution is survival based, right, down to the individual organism, but also evolution can be rampant, right? So evolution also entails mutation. So evolution can also lead to extinction. So whether it's entirely focused on simply just surviving or not, I can't say. But survival is definitely seems to be a mechanism of evolution, right? One of the primary functions of it, or driving functions of it. I'm dead. Come on, one more hit. Little pun. Hey, thanks for Rose, man. Appreciate that. It's like one more hit away. Man said, "Holy, pick a struggle, bro. You don't even want to hear my life story." The struggle picked me. I was joking. Well, bros, what do you even mean by infinity? Would you even know what infinity is if a human didn't come up with the idea? What's up, Jaden? I think solipsism is interesting. I think if you subscribe to hard solipsism, it could be a bit of a, just say, an antithetical view towards living a healthy life. So yeah, I think skepticism is a useful tool, but too much skepticism could be dangerous. No, let me not put it like that. There's no such thing as too much skepticism, but being completely skeptical about your own existence could lead you into some strange places. You know. Persona, you changed your name, bro. What's up, bro? I had to ban you last time. I can't remember what you said. But it's getting a bit out of pocket. But yeah, they have been doing some bad things. Oh, I messed up this round. Personally, I think spirituality could be dangerous. Again, it's one of those things that permits for all kinds of strange beliefs that can leave you susceptible to some bad things. Like I was just saying about solipsism. Spirituality doesn't have any guardrails, so usually you find people who engage in ideas of spirituality drift from cult to cult to cult throughout their lifetime, because they're looking for something substantial which they can't find in spirituality, because spirituality itself is ill-defined. It's like an empty container, a void that anyone can fill with anything. So you can get like quantum mysticism, Gnosticism, astrology, all kinds of weird things can be like crammed into this idea of spirituality, which ultimately will leave you nowhere if you pursue it too like, you know, as if it's a thing. You know, I don't get me wrong, right? There's value in any ideology, of course, as long as it's structured and you know the reasons why you're using it and what you're using it for. But yeah, I think spirituality is vague in the first place, right? So I think it's designed to be that. Yeah, obviously language created the word God, bro. It's true, but we know God by many names from many cultures. We know gods that come in different forms from many cultures too, so I understand that. Language is what's described as like a formal human game in the first place. It points to things, but it doesn't actually truly define the essence of things that it points to, if that makes sense. Let's try not to die this time. I mean, I've learned bits and pieces from all types of people across my whole lifetime, across the world too. Well, not actually like physically, but internet-wise. So yeah, I can't say all the information I've come to is just of my own accord. That'd be wrong. But yeah, I've learned things from all different types of places to make this conclusion. But it doesn't mean I'm right, though. It doesn't mean I'm right. It's just working with the best information I have currently. Damn it, I've already been infected. And I'm out of magic. Dude, the animation takes too long. Oh, he's got me. He's gonna hit me through there. I can't even see him. No, I lost my opportunity. Oh, the rot's killing me. Shit. Excuse my French. What's up, pepperoni? Fair play. I don't know what you mean by all forms, but there are different forms of gods, right? Gods that have specific representations to the culture that produces them, meaning like they play specific roles. Like you got abstract gods, gods of love, war, knowledge. You've got celestial gods, gods of sun, moon, Mars, Saturn. You've got personal gods, gods that interact with you in your day-to-day affairs and listen to your prayers. You've got impersonal gods that don't care about humans, you know, like you got all different types of gods. So you got monotheistic, polytheistic. Well, let me slow down. Monotheistic, one all-powerful god. Polytheistic, many gods. Henotheistic, one central god, but other gods exist. Theistic, a non-intervening creator god. Pantheistic, God is all. Panentheistic, God is the universe, but beyond the universe. Dualistic, two opposing cosmic powers. Animistic, spirits that inhabit nature. So with those configurations, you get like lots of different variations of gods within each specific configuration. Okay. What's up, Rami? I don't ever play this game online, to be fair. I'll never play this online. Yeah, but when you do the third press on L2, it does a stronger attack. So that's why I do it. It does like a burn attack. Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, the more I'm learning about different views in philosophy, is the more I understand how ethics are playing out, right? And there's different systems of ethics. But fundamentally, ethics do influence politics, but most people put their politics before ethics in the first place, which is why you see the situations we're seeing in the first place. Does that make sense? But yeah, I don't want to get too deep into politics. At least not until I know I'm out of the woods in the shadow band kind of thing. Until I'm out of the woods, if that makes sense. I'm not sure what you mean, Chibs. If you can rephrase that in another way. I'm not that far into my study to understand is and oughts yet. So maybe if you could put it in layman's terms for me. If what you're saying, if I understand what you're saying, are you saying humans seeing motion, matter in motion, is just a matter of cognition, and that it's not actually emotion? Is that what you're saying? Well, I've told you before, if you were listening before, what did I tell you? To paraphrase Assata Shakur, no group of people have ever secured their freedom by appealing to the morality of their oppressors. And look what's happening in front of you right now. Okay. That's my take. So you just weren't listening. So, damn it. Boaz, nice try, but do you understand inventions? But yeah, do you even understand your personal concept of God? Dickie, I'm not sure I'm tracking, bro. You talking to me or you talking to user? Who is Atum? Way too much credit, bro. Do you know how incredible humans are, bro? Like, not to be boastful of my own humanity, but humans are pretty fucking incredible. Like, do you know, like, look at what we've achieved in like 300,000 years, bro. Now imagine 300,000 years from now. Like, we're pretty substantially important, bro. Whether there's a God or not, God would be impressed with us as beings, right? So I wouldn't discredit your fellow human. Look at your own personal. Look at the Even though there are problems in life, many problems, look at your own personal comforts provided by the offerings of your fellow human. So I messed that up. Are we charged on fire? Right, it's gonna go bad. But yeah, that whole take is an anthropocentric point of view anyways, right? It's a human-centered point of view. But hey, humans like humans. I would hope anyways. Oh, it's not triggered yet. There he is. Well, humans should like humans anyways. Oh look, he's not aggroed. I've never seen that happen before. See if we can get his tail. No, that's not disappointing. I'm dead. Yeah, he's got me cornered there. Oh, I can't even drink. I'm dead. Come on. Got him. Alright, hopefully this finishes the quest line. Let's see, we still got to do like a combo fight. Or maybe we're going to have to go back into Altus Plateau and find Millicent there. Okay, I kind of understand what you're saying there. They're chibs, but how does that tie into the other point that you made? Killed. That's jokes. I was just about to transport as well. Thanks for that follow. Appreciate that. Learn to enjoy his flow. I guess, yeah. Like, this game is never going to be as enjoyable as it was the first time around, but mostly because of the weapons that I'm using. So I am kind of cheesing the game by using this weapon set. But if I was to actually fight the tree with just like samurai sword and like maybe a shield, or even a dual wield, then it'd be way more fun. So, but yeah, there's one thing just playing on your own, relaxing, and there's another thing playing on stream. Playing on stream is like, you need to make sure the game is making progress. So, oh, yeah, there's no summon sign. I don't know where I've gone wrong with her quest line then. Let's go all the way back to the beginning and see if he gives me a hint. Yeah, some people like watching the struggle, some people don't. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm tracking that bit, Chibs. The survival as a metaphor and all. I'm not sure I understand. You talking to me, Travi? Well, if you're just allowed to believe what you want, you know, why not just believe Keebler Elsa in the woods right now, making my shoes for tomorrow? Just believe what you want.
Welcome, welcome. How may I help?
Where's Millicent? Damn it. Where's the threat? What's going on? Won't let me travel. She's not there. Churchill playing. She starts there, comes there, leaves there. She should have gone to the windmill, but she wasn't there. Oh, okay. But yeah, like, you haven't got, no one's given a good reason to say that Jesus is actually God, right? All of those are just claims in the Bible, not actual, like, proven points. Ah, man. The weather's kind of sulky today, isn't it? Okay, let's see if we can find a room for it. Tree gazed in hill. This is north. Don't waste your prayers on anyone in this chat. Go try and solve world hunger, world peace, cure cancer. Do something meaningful with your power of prayer if you actually believe in it. You know, don't waste it. There she is! Well, damn it! Do you know how long I've been looking for you, fool? Gone all the way to the depths of hell.
We meet again. In truth, it's been smooth sailing for me. The scarlet rot has stilled since last we met. As such, I've been able to continue my journey.
Just give her the arm, bro.
Vexingly, I realized that if I still had my sword arm, I could have aided you in battle.
Yeah, Hume has been recommended to me. He has been, but like, I'm so noob to whole philosophy understandings that I'm just kind of working my way through an introductory book. I'm reading some political philosophy as well, so I don't know how long it's gonna take me to get to it. I might catch a YouTube video of it just to breeze through it, but really getting a decent understanding, it's gonna probably take me a long time to be fair with you.
It might be possible for me to wield a sword again. Perhaps then I can aid you in battle.
Hey, what's up? What's your name, Jay? It looks Arabic or Hindu. I can't read it. But hey, what's up?
If the arm serves well enough.
What's up, bros? Yeah. There's always a rapture, but apparently, according to real Christians, that rapture isn't even part of doctrine. Oh, mushroom is glitching. Alright, I think I know why it's glitching. Trying to run too many software at the same time. Yeah, I read from a book. I'm a slow reader though. I mean, I think I need to invest in a Kindle or something, but I still use books. Yeah, my computer's glitching. That's why the stream is doing that. It won't let me end. Oh, well, we got a big problem here. We're gonna end. Oh, the computer's broken.